In the last video, we went ahead and wrote a hook block view function defining our delta variable, and in the case of that variable, in this case posts, we want to show a block subject and some block content. Now, the block content isn't actually defined yet. What we're doing is we're making a call to another function called FBFeedBlock contents, and then we're relating that to our switch delta here. So since we don't have that function written, you'll notice that you have a white screen here and all your memory's been used up on the site. So we're going to fix that now. Here in the code file I have a function. This is a custom function that I've written. I'm going to copy this and drop it over here in our module file right underneath our hook block view. So let's copy that and come down here. And under that hook block view, you can paste in the custom function. So this is the custom function called by hook block view to display our block content. So let's define it as function FBFeedBlock contents. Again, it's related to the delta. We're doing a switch on the delta. Again, this is all the same as the previous function. In the case of posts, this time we're going to do a database query. So what we want to do here is we want to query the database and find all the instances of our Facebook feed posts and then show them inside of a block. So the easiest way to do this is if you look inside of the database, you can see in the node table that we have some nodes that have been defined by the feed item content type. So when we imported these Facebook feed posts, we used the feeds module, and the feeds module imports these as nodes into a content type called feed item. So in the database table, these get node IDs, they get type associated with them, they get a title for the node, and timestamps for when they were created. This is all very helpful information. In our database query, we can just go ahead and grab this information from the database to show those nodes inside of our block. Now, some of you who've used the views module basically know how to do this very easily using views. And so views is basically a huge database query module. It just allows you to write database queries without having to write the code. In this case, we're going to go ahead and write the code for the query itself. And it'll give you a lot of practice in writing database queries in case you ever come upon a particular use case or requirement where views just isn't going to be sufficient. Of course, you could do this using the views module, but it's nice to be able to do it with a custom module as well. So what we're doing in this function is we're saying if the user has access permissions to view content, that's what that if statement says, then we want to do a result. And our result's going to be equal to a database query. The database query, we're going to write a select statement. We're going to select the NID, which is the node ID, the title, and the type from the node table. That's exactly what we just looked at. So the node table, we're going to select NID, type, and title. And we're going to do this where we're going to put a where statement in there where the type is equal to feed item. So basically, we just want to call in the feed item types and not the other types. And this is filtering just like you would do with the views module. And so the filtering in the views module is basically using this DB query structure. And then we're going to put all this into an array of items. And for each of these, we're going to make a row. And we're going to basically make a row for each link. And then we're going to theme it to look like a list. So the actual rows of the node titles are going to be links. We're wrapping it in the L function here to define those links. The row is going to show the title. It's going to link to the node /, so it's going to link to the path to the node. And so when somebody sees the Facebook post in the block, they'll click on it, and it will then open up that node for that Facebook post. And then we're going to go ahead and return the themed array, and it's just going to be a simple item list to show all the items. And we're going to just use a simple theme function there so that Drupal will just put it into a nice unordered list inside of that block. And then we're going to show our break. So let's go ahead and save this. And at this point, we can come back to our site, and hopefully when we refresh, we get our site back. And certainly we do. There is now no white screen. And notice we actually have our block, Facebook feed block posts. You'll see, remember that we enabled the block before in the first sidebar. And now that we've defined the content, it's bringing in the 3 feed item nodes, the Facebook posts. And the subject is here. That's actually the header of the block, Facebook feed block post that we defined in the function. And then it's calling in those 3 nodes from our database query, and then it's theming them by just making a simple linked bulleted list. So that's how you do a database query to add content into a block using a custom module on your Drupal site. In the next video, we're going to go ahead and start theming this block. We're going to write a theme template, and then we're going to conclude this section by adding some CSS to style our block.